manifestations seem to not occur is because we have so many conflicting thoughts throughout our day that are at odds with the original intent that we manifested. So if somebody wakes up in the morning, they do their morning focus, and they send out their intentions for what they're creating in their life, and then as soon as they hit traffic on their way to work, slip back into the state of mind of being tense and angry, which, let's face it, rush hour traffic, that's one of the biggest sources of tension that people have, and they have it twice a day, every day. So in that state, if you can instead breathe deep, expand your awareness from your heart, and just allow the traffic to be what it is, because being mad at it and judging it isn't going to make it go away. It isn't going to make the people in front of you drive any quicker. Honking and cursing doesn't actually move traffic along, just stresses you out. So in your day-to-day life are where we have the opportunities for the greatest growth. You know, we can meditate morning, noon, and night whenever we get a spare chance, but during the rest of the time while we're interacting with people, experiencing the various attitudes and judgments that people have, those are the moments when we detect a little tickle of resistance. Why doesn't this person understand? Why are they so dense? Why are they such a jerk? When we sense that occurring, and we can short-circuit that thought, move back into our heart, and just take a breath and say, you know what? It's okay that he's that way. It's okay that she doesn't like me. That's fine. It's actually harder on her to hate me than it is for me to be hated by her. As long as I've done my work on myself and I've not judged her for hating me, and I've done an energy refund just to make sure that her energy is hers, my energy is mine, there won't be any psychic attack. And so, to come back one last time to those reptiles, where they're from and what they're doing, they're just, you know, there's so much out there. Everybody has their opinion on the reptiles, the reptilian races. But in essence, if they're in your sphere of consciousness and you feel them affecting you, don't hate them. Simply move your awareness, move your higher self into your heart. And simply see them as the same mirror version of the coworker who got mad at you for something stupid or whatever. So what are they? Seagirl asked. They're just beings that are living in bodies that are more reptilian, period. And I know that's, again, very simplified, because we can get into all the cosmology of how they've interfered and what they're doing and how, you know, all the bad stuff they've done, just like we can get into all the bad things that the world governments and the bankers who print the money have done and all of that. And all of that is important information just to have kind of tucked away so that you know that the world that's being shown to you is an illusion. It's being created to keep you within a certain frequency of thought. So that's good to know that. It's important to know that. And once you know that, then it's important to rise above it and to move your consciousness into your heart, which is your fourth dimensional mind. Move it even further up into your higher self, your fifth, sixth, seventh dimensional mind. And let that mind illuminate the events of your life. Let that aspect of your consciousness show you the higher perspective of everything that's occurring in your life right now. That way, you're not simply trapped in problem-reaction solution mode, which is what 3D life is so tuned into right now. So I have a question. Can people unconsciously feel the vibrations of our thoughts and how it reflects through us? Again, wholehearted yes to that. People pick up on frequencies. They don't usually know it. Most people aren't that aware of what's happening on an energetic level. But when you're moving through life, doing your day-to-day life, your job, and your errands and things that you need to do, if you can remind yourself to stay in your heart and to simply love and allow, because that is love, allowing somebody else to be exactly how they are in whatever forms of limitation that they're expressing life. So when you move through your day with loving and allowing in your heart, people around you will pick up on that. People that you work with will pick up on that. They will speak to you differently. People that you bump into at the store will smile or move out of your way or whatnot. And you'll find that the more that you can quiet your ego mind, quiet the judgments that want to circulate themselves and recycle themselves over and over in your mind, when you can take your power back from those judgments and move through your life from your heart in a state of love and allowance, you will see that people are noticing, and you will see them react to you differently. And most of the time, people will not comment on your vibes. They won't comment and say, oh, wow, something's really different about you or whatnot. People that know you really well will probably say that at some point. But in general, people will just be friendlier towards you because you're simply emanating that frequency. And then as soon as you talk to them, when you're speaking from your heart, from that place of love, the words and the vibration of your voice will have a love frequency to them, and that tone of your voice will also affect them. So it happens on every level of your being. There's no aspect of your life that is not intricately caused by your own thoughts. So if we can move into the space of seeing our reality as a giant virtual reality hologram that's reflecting back to us the contents of our minds, the contents of our thoughts. And when we hit a wall out there in the world, when we hit a resistance point, we need to look inside and see where that resistance truly comes from. Why is that manifesting in my life? Why is that person in my life? What is it in me that's showing or causing that person to show that particular situation to me? And so the more I can be perfectly clear and honest with myself, then I can reclaim my energy from those deep, somewhat hidden, or maybe just issues that I hadn't got around to dealing with yet. And over time, that will shift the external environment. But I should also put out the caveat that changing yourself and changing your thoughts so that your reality will change to an ideal that you have is a bit of a slippery slope, and that's actually an area where your ego can play a lot of games with you. Instead of working to change your mind so that your reality will change, just work to change your mind so that you will be peaceful. Work to change your mind so that you're free from judgments and free from worries about the future. And when you do that, the reality around you will naturally shift. So here's an eye contact question. Most people are really bad at eye contact. And for most of us who, as we get more and more clear and more loving and more direct, we tend to look right at somebody when we're speaking to them. And that does actually make people who aren't in that same space, it can make them a little bit uncomfortable. So if you're speaking with somebody and you see them, being really shifty or looking around a lot, go ahead and just look away from them a little bit too while you're talking to put them at ease if you think that they're feeling a lot of discomfort. It's not really a big deal. All you're really doing is helping that person to feel a little more at ease, and you're allowing them to be what they are, which in that instance is uncomfortable with eye contact, and that's okay. And so I want to just briefly switch back to everybody who has written me in the last couple of weeks at ascensionhelp.com. All of the wonderful comments that people have made. I just want to thank you all for committing your own time and your own energy to uplifting yourself and uplifting your own frequency of thought. And I want to thank you for writing to me, and I also want to thank everybody who has donated for your generous donations. They're very much appreciated because we all still need money at this point in human history. So for everybody who's donated, thank you very much. All donations are appreciated, so if you should never feel bad that you're only donating an amount. That's simply an attitude that I would encourage you to reclaim your energy from, because every form of giving is beautiful and it is greatly appreciated. And now I want to jump back one more time back to psychic attacks. I got a question from another realm here. Somebody out there is listening thinking that this is all far too simplistic and that it's a big, bad, dangerous world and a big, bad, dangerous universe out there, and that there are big, bad, dangerous entities who are just have no problem doing harm to you. And that is true. However, when your frequency of thought, when your energy state is at a level where you are no longer afraid of them, and instead you simply see those entities who would subjugate and drain your energy from you, you see them as simply having a path that's much different than yours. And yes, I was definitely trying to make you laugh by saying big, bad, and dangerous, just to put it into a humorous context. Because here's the thing about entities, physical or non-physical, who are attempting to take energy from others, is those beings are living one of the most limited forms of existence, because they are cut off from the infinite energy of the source, the infinite energy that's available when you tune in to the core of the galaxy and the infinite energy of all of creation. And instead they've chosen a path. Some call it the negative path, some call it service to self. They've chosen a path of draining and taking energy from others in order to expand their own energy sphere. So they're constantly dealing with a lack of energy, a lack of resources. And so in a sense, it really sucks to be them. It really is no fun to live from that perspective where you have to take energy from another person in order to expand your own energy.